My wife and I divorced a while back pretty amicably. Instead of selling our family home and splitting the money, I suggested I take a loan using the house as collateral and buy another place. That way she could continue to live there and our kids would inherit it eventually. She was reluctant, but eventually I convinced her. She's always been like that. Her reluctance to take any chances has held me back many times. This was a good plan and it worked for a while. Eventually, however, I ran into money trouble. Everything was more expensive than I thought, the fixer-upper I bought needed a lot of renovation, and I got deeper into debt. I kept paying the bank, just not every month, sometimes less than the full amount due for the month, etc. Eventually, the bank foreclosed, and the house was sold to repay the debt. It was a shock to everyone. The bank had sent some threatening letters, but I didn't think they'd go that far as I was still paying. Anyway, my ex moved in with our youngest son. She's doing fine, is not in any way homeless, but she keeps complaining about losing the house and my kids have gone low contact with me. They all go out of their way to help their mom, while I only get scraps every now and then, even though I also needed help sometimes since then. I know I made a mistake, but it's not like I planned this. I lost a lot too, and even though I have the house that I bought back then, it's nothing fancy, and it's expensive to maintain. Besides, my ex lived alone in the house for a couple of years, rent-free. Last time we met, I told my kids that they should show more gratitude for my part in raising them, and they should think that they have two parents, not just one. They're all doing pretty well financially. They said I was an idiot for demanding anything of them after what I did to their mom. They say I should give her some money every month to compensate for some of the loss. While I do earn more than her, I have expenses too. And it's not like she needs it. She's living rent-free and our son is pretty well off, so he won't be kicking her out. I admit that my plan didn't work out and it caused her some loss, but am I really such an idiot for expecting my kids to help me too, like they helped my ex? So, am I the idiot for making my ex homeless? LOL. Wife always held you back, huh? It sounds like her reluctance to take chances has only held you back from bankruptcy. The lack of self-awareness is astounding. When all of your adult children side with your wife, it means you are the idiot and you should look at your behavior. She's not a risk taker, so we broke up. Anyway, I lost her house due to taking too many risks, but I still have this crappy new house that sucks money like a black hole. Gosh, double you are the idiot. He needs to take accountability. Look, I'm divorced and I get it, but he owes her big for screwing her over. Wait, there's more. I let my wife keep the old house instead of splitting the money, talked her into losing that house to buy me a house. I make more than her, but I still want our kids to help me out even though they're having to take care of her because of how badly I screwed her over. He paid the mortgage on the house he bought while not making payments on the house his ex lived in. In essence, he stole her half of the house by taking out a loan on it, keeping all the money himself, then letting the bank foreclose on his ex instead of just selling the house and splitting the money with his ex. Foreclosure doesn't happen overnight. You 100% knew it was coming and didn't tell her. Triple, you are the idiot for screwing over your wife, taking advantage of your kids, and painting yourself as the victim. OP is totally cut from the same cloth as these guys who come on here and say, I make $500,000 and my wife makes $30,000. I insist on living in $1 million home and splitting expenses 50-50. I'm about to retire next year, while my wife will have to work until she's 85 to afford the lifestyle I forced on her. It sucks to be her. Meanwhile, while she works, I'll be vacationing on a Greek island. There are such selfish idiots out there. OMG. You bullied your ex-wife into putting her house up for collateral, which I guarantee she did just to get you away from her, and then you lost nothing and she lost everything. You owe her every penny, and how dare you tell your children you deserve more? This is so blatantly wrong, and if I were your child, I'd help my mother sue you for every penny you stole from her under duress. My 23 female friend, Sarah, 25 female, and I have been close since childhood. We've shared many memories and experiences, and I consider her like a sister. Recently, Sarah got engaged with her long-term partner, Mark, 28 male, and they began planning a destination wedding at a luxurious resort in a tropical paradise. When Sarah first announced the destination, I was excited and congratulated her wholeheartedly. However, as the wedding details unfolded, I realized attending the wedding would be a significant financial burden for me. Travel, accommodation and other expenses would eat into my savings and disrupt my budget for the foreseeable future. I work a stable job and can afford my everyday expenses comfortably, but splurging on an extravagant destination wedding isn't feasible for me at this point. Moreover, I have other financial goals, such as saving for a down payment on a house that I need to prioritize. When Sarah asked if I would attend, I expressed my genuine happiness for her, but explained my financial constraints and regretfully declined. I assured her I'd be there in spirit and celebrate with them during their reception back home. Sarah didn't take my refusal well and accused me of not caring enough about our friendship to make an effort. She argued that if I truly valued her friendship, I would find a way to be present on her special day. She pointed out that other friends were making sacrifices to attend, and it hurt her that I wasn't doing the same. I tried to explain my position, emphasizing that it wasn't about not caring, but rather about being responsible with my finances. However, Sarah remained upset and distant, making me feel like a terrible friend. Now I'm conflicted, wondering if I made the right decision. I don't want to lose our friendship, but I also don't want to put myself in a difficult financial situation for a one-day event. Am I the idiot for refusing to attend my friend's destination wedding? Not the idiot. Friends don't push other friends to extend themselves beyond financial boundaries. Sarah is emotionally manipulating you, and she's the idiot in this scenario, not you. It's completely unreasonable of her to bully you into forking out thousands of dollars so she can be happy. She seems like a very entitled, spoiled child. You have made the right decision, and even if this harms your friendship with her, just remember, it's only a selfish friend that you'll be losing. Sarah possibly gets a better deal at the hotel with more wedding guests she brings in. It's also possible Sarah wants OP there but is too self-centered to understand that there are consequences to the decisions we make, and having a destination wedding means many people may not be able to make it. It's common for people to feel like their wedding is the year's social highlight and fail to realize that it's just not to the vast majority of their friends. It's ironic that she accused you of not caring about her when she obviously doesn't care about you and what a financial burden she's trying to saddle you with. It's been said many times, an invitation is not a subpoena. Remind Sarah this is the 21st century and she should set up a live stream so people who can't easily afford to attend can share her day. As we get older, we outgrow some friends, and it's okay. I'm a female teen learning how to drive in my sister's 19 car. My sister and I have very different standards of cleanliness. Her room is always messy, she has no problem wearing dirty clothes, sleeps with our dog, doesn't wash her face, and only washes her hair once or twice a week. I know she eats in her car because her booster seat has sesame seeds in the holes, and I sometimes see fast food wrappers in the car, but I can just take off the booster thing and ignore it. I got home the other day and she was eating in her car and there was food everywhere. It was disgusting. I told her to stop eating in her car when she came inside because it grossed me out. She said it's not my car, so it's not my choice, but I told her I drive it almost daily. She told me she has 25 minutes to eat and get to work after class, and her work is 15 minutes away from her school, so she's going to eat wherever she wants, and if I have a problem with that I can buy my own car. I told her I couldn't work if I couldn't drive, and she said that wasn't her problem. She hasn't been letting me drive her car because apparently it's disgusting, and she's been kind of witchy to me, so I wanted to know if I was the idiot for telling her not to eat in her car. You are the idiot. It's her car. Why can't she eat in it? Because it grosses you out? That's fine, don't use her car then. What about Mom and Dad's car? Also, the hygiene practices you listed at the beginning are not that gross. She's very generous letting you drive her car almost daily. Apologise and stop acting entitled to her car. Beggars can't be choosers. The grossest thing listed is sleeping with dogs. I have 2 dogs, 3 cats and a husband on my bed. I must be plague incarnate. Not to mention it's recommended to only wash your hair once or twice a week for your general health anyway. Also, your "I can't get a job if I can't drive" is an excuse. Do you know how many people I know who've worked and can't drive? You figure it out. But if you want to set rules in a car, buy yourself one. I've seen many people figure it out, from riding a bike to catching public transport, or with others so young, parents giving them a ride. Well, that wasn't very smart, was it? Someone is doing you a favour, and you repay them by saying they gross you out and trying to make demands you have no right to make. And now they've rescinded that favour, as most would. Don't insult people and still expect them to like or help you. You ruined your own chance at driving her vehicle. I, 24 male, am the youngest of 3 kids. I was treated as the baby of the family and still kind of am. Not to any extreme, it's more of a joking thing. My dad curses like a trucker, and my brother will teasingly say, "Dad, not in front of the baby." It's all in good fun, they've never tried to prevent me from growing up. We're a really close family and hang out a lot. I have a family nickname, a shortened form of my name, think Johnny for John, though that's not it, that I grew tired of in my teens. I never told them that though, as it's harmless and it doesn't bother me that much. Like I said, they didn't know I didn't like it, and I know if I'd told them they'd stop immediately. I've been dating Ashley for a few months now. When she met my family, they called me by that nickname. She used it after we left and I playfully rolled my eyes saying, I hate that name. She was confused and asked why they called me that then. I said I never made a big deal of it and it really doesn't matter. I just prefer that outside of my parents and siblings, others don't use it. I also asked that she not say anything to them. She said okay. We got together last weekend for my mom's birthday. At one point my sister asked, Johnny, do you want a soda? Ashley went to help her. I didn't think much of it. After the party my mum called and asked, so how long have you hated that we all call you Johnny? My stomach dropped. I asked why she would assume that, and she said Ashley told my sister she should stop calling me that as I hated it. My sister waited until the party ended to say anything as she didn't want to cause drama. She told our parents so they would know not to call me that anymore. I told my mom it was okay, it's not that I truly mind. She said if I told them sooner they would have stopped. I said seriously, don't worry about it. She asked if I was sure a few times. I could tell she felt really guilty and that made me sad. I called Ashley after and asked why the heck she would say that. She said she was just trying to help out. I said she had no business saying anything. She's told me secrets and I'd never dream of repeating them. She kept saying I was overreacting and I should thank her. I told her she caused a bunch of drama over nothing. She told me I was ungrateful. I hung up the phone. She texted me a few times since and I haven't responded. Her gist is that I shouldn't have told her if I didn't want her to say anything. My point is she never said she couldn't keep a secret and she knew I wanted it to stay secret. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and here's why. It's not about the name at all. You told her something and asked her not to say anything. She said okay and then turned around and did it anyway. That the nickname thing is relatively minor is not the point. You decided you didn't want to make an issue out of it. She took that decision away from you. And yes, she caused unnecessary hurt to your family that you didn't want to cause. Yeah, that's the thing. I can understand if she misunderstood. I can understand if she forgot. I can even understand if she thought she was helping. But when you hurt someone you care about, apologize. Instead, she defends her actions and tries to blame him for trusting her in the first place. What's the end game? He doesn't trust her anymore. How is that in any way desirable to her? Also saying, if you didn't want me to say anything, you shouldn't have told me. Like, do you know how secrets work? She expects you to be grateful for doing something you specifically asked her not to do. Drop her. You can't trust her. She didn't just betray your trust. She attacked you for being upset that she betrayed it. I, female 35, have been dating Tom, 37, for almost 2 years now. Tom has a daughter Aspen, a young teen. Tom has always babied Aspen, which is fine. Recently, Aspen has been sick and Tom has really stepped up the babying. I think it's fine to baby your kids, but Aspen is a teenager and doesn't need to be babied anymore. I expressed this to Tom, but he says Aspen is still young and needs to be taken care of. Last night, I was going over to Tom's. He told me the front door was unlocked, so I just walked in. Well, I walked in to find Aspen lying on Tom's lap asleep. I asked Tom if he thinks Aspen is too old to do this. He said no, especially considering she's sick. I said I think she's too old and it needs to stop. He told me I was being an idiot and I needed to stop being weird about something completely normal. I told friends and they also think I'm the idiot. Am I? You are the idiot. She's a child. He's her father. He can show her affection if he wants and cuddle up with her when she feels unwell. If you make him choose between you and his daughter, he will make the correct choice and pick his daughter. OP basically believes that a child can be too old for receiving physical affection from a parent when in reality, warm hugs and cuddle from a parent is extremely natural. Also, OP, are you jealous of the kid or the relationship between the father and daughter? That might explain your urge to stop the affection between them, but you have no business telling him it needs to stop. It doesn't matter what you think, it's his daughter. If he wants to baby her, let him. It's the latter. A man in my life loves someone else as well. This is an affront to me, is common. Mother-in-law versus wives, stepmothers versus kids, and even sisters versus girlfriends. I think stepmothers versus kids is the worst though, because why would you even want to be with someone who doesn't love and show love to their kids? I'm an adult and I still cuddle with my parents. Nothing wrong with it. OP, you're triggered because you're insecure as a person. Go to therapy and touch grass instead of being jealous of a relationship between a father and a daughter. He's right. She is a kid still. And if you're going to act like this, then he needs to dump you. And you need to go be with someone that doesn't have kids because you're going to be a long-term issue for him and his daughter. I can already tell if he doesn't practically throw his daughter out by 18, you're going to just about have an aneurysm over it. Stop being weird and let that man have someone mature enough to date him because it's obviously not you.